Beneath the surface of the water, where the quiet learns to breathe, I found a trail of melodies the ocean left for me beneath. They shimmered like a secret, like a truth too deep to hide, a constellation carved in blue along the shifting tide. Each ripple held a memory that drifted soft and slow, a portrait painted gently by the currents down below. And as I reached to touch them, they dissolved into the foam, whispering that every wanderer will someday find a home. The sea was humming softly, like a choir made of sighs, telling me that broken hearts can still learn how to rise. Dreams beneath the ocean slowly echo in my chest, turning weight into a rhythm, letting every doubt rest. If the tide pulls me under, let your voice call out to me for melodies waiting in the dreams beneath the sea. I drifted with the currents where the moonlight bends the waves to caverns full of lullabies the shipwrecked hearts once gave. The silence wasn't empty, it was trembling with a song, reminding me that even drowning souls can still belong. I followed where it guided, through the shadows cool and deep, through memories submerged, through promises I keep. And in that underwater quiet where the world dissolves away, I felt my heartbeat harmonize with the rhythm of the bay. If the surface feels too distant, I'll still rise eventually, for the sea holds every echo that was ever lost in me. Dreams beneath the ocean slowly echo in my chest, turning weight into a rhythm, letting every doubt rest. If the tide pulls me under, let your voice call out to me for melodies waiting in the dreams beneath the sea. A hush fell over the forgotten temple, where pillars of stone reached into the night sky, and shadows moved like soft whispers across the ground. I stepped carefully, my breath mingling with the faint resonance of melodies hidden for centuries. Sitar threads wove through the air, plucked with gentle precision. Cunning notes shimmer like sunlight on still water, and the name breathed softly through the temple. Listen. Strings and soft percussion, blending with the subtle hum of the temples. Every vibration told a story, every pause a breath of patience. The music rose and fell naturally. The dome of tears leading when I realized that lost melodies we're never truly gone. We're never truly gone. They waited to be remembered. The minaret stood alone against the fading dusk. Its stones cracked like pages left open too long. Wind circled the tower with a patient whisper, carrying scents of dust, spice, and distant fires. From inside the hollow chamber came a low trembling hum, not sorrowful but ancient, a voice remembering itself. Stretched a thin golden thread through the silence, followed by a new breathing warm curves of melody. Kind of droplets scattered like sparks on the cold stone, while an age drifted above them, soft as a hand on a shoulder. A tiny child like rose briefly, as if a forgotten garden stirred in sleep. I stepped closer and the hum grew clearer, forming shapes like a lantern light. Behind a curtain each pulse carried fragments of old prayers, lost words folding into the dust. But the melody did not feel abandoned, it felt as though it waited for someone to carry it out into the night again. From the ashes of the silent tower, a quiet song rises like warm smoke. It slips between the cracks of time, calling those who remember how to listen. With unburdened hands. I heard an echo drifting from the years I left behind, a fragile note of longing woven through my tired mind. It shimmered like an ember from a melody undone. a fragment of a rhythm swallowed by a setting sun. I reached to hold it gently, feared it disappear once more, but the echo wrapped around me like a wave upon the shore. It carried every heartbeat I forgot to let survive, reminding me that broken songs can still come back alive. It shaped itself in shadows, barely holding on to form. A voice that once was thunder, now reduced to whisper warm. Echoes of what was keep ringing softly in my chest, guiding me through emptiness with memories I regret. If the dawn erases everything I've struggled to recall, may the echoes lead me gently till I recognize it all. Between the remnants of the tracks I used to tread, where forgotten rhythms linger like the ghosts of words unsaid. Each echo drew a portrait of the person I became, a silhouette of music carved in sorrow, carved in flame. And somewhere in that silence where my doubts were meant to stay, I heard a rising harmony that washed the fear away. For even if the past was lost, the music wasn't gone. It waited in the echoes patiently to carry on. If tomorrow hides my memory beneath a heavier sky, I'll follow every echo till the fading parts revive. Echoes of what was keep ringing softly in my chest, guiding me through emptiness with memories I repressed. If the dawn erases everything I've struggled to recall, may the echoes lead me gently till I recognize it all. The oasis slept beneath the moon's silver gaze, its water still, reflecting stars like scattered lanterns. The palms swayed, whispering soft secrets, and the sand shifted under invisible footsteps. A sitar arced through the air, bright and bending, followed by an owl tracing bold yet gentle curves. The Qanun scattered sparkling droplets across the dunes, while a nave floated above like a cool breath in the night. A fleeting childlike hum rose and fell, small as wind over reeds, threading innocence into the vastness. Hand drums rising with warmth and urgency. pulling me toward the heart of what had been lost. Shadows over the forgotten oasis reveal the pulse of hidden songs. Every whisper guides the wandering spirit, and even the faintest echo shines with moonlight kiss the water's edge, splitting reflections into dancing fragments. The music lifted, building steadily, not harsh but alive, urgent and warm. The melodies intertwined with the night, drawing past and present into one flowing rhythm. The tide carrying all forgotten sounds forward. The first light stretched over quiet sands, a gentle fire spilling across untouched ruins. I step forward, feeling the rhythm beneath my feet, soft whispers of past lives brushing against the stone. A sitar arched its golden strings, curving through the air with warmth and urgency. The out replied in sweeping arcs, its melody pulling the desert toward the sky. Kanun notes fell like sparkling drops, and an A floated above, airy and bright. A fleeting childlike come flickered between arches, threading innocence through the desert twilight. The rhythm beneath my feet grew steadier, bass pulses weaving beneath eastern melodies. A heartbeat matching the horizon full of dunes. Every echo carried fragments of forgotten chants, small sparks of life hidden in the wind. Echoes of the first dawn rise and shimmer, guiding wandering souls through the quiet sands. Each note carries warmth and memory, lifting the lost melodies toward the sun. I followed the sounds into the open plain, where shadows bent to greet the light. The melodies grew, rising steadily, woven from sub-bass, hand percussion, and eastern strings. The first dawn had awoken the hidden songs, and I moved with them, carried by their gentle energy. The road wound through the quiet ruins like an old story, its lines softened by thousands of forgotten steps. A faint sparkle of laughter drifted through the broken arch, light and playful as if children were hiding behind the stones. A sitar answered with gentle curves of sound, followed by a note sketching soft circles in the warm air. A conning flickered in small bright drops while a nave breathed calm across the empty hall. As I walked deeper, echoes gathered around my feet, tiny reminders of hands that once traced stars on these walls. Their shadows felt kind, not haunting. Their little hums rested like feathers on the dust. Follow the echoes where the small lights hide. They guide the forgotten back toward the heart. In their footsteps, lost songs open like lanterns waking in the dark. Moonlight slipped through broken stone and the echoes became clearer, almost speaking. A soft voice whispered that nothing truly vanishes, it simply waits for someone willing to listen. So I stood still, letting the sounds gather, threads of memory curling around my hands. The path ahead felt warm again, as if the echoing children had placed their quiet lanterns in my The wind stirred the dust across the quiet plains, carrying faint glimmers of light that shimmered like tiny lanterns buried beneath time. I stepped slowly, feeling the soft crunch beneath my feet, and listening to the fragile echo of melodies that had been lost long before I arrived. The air smelled of warm earth and lingering incense, and somewhere distant a sitar whispered through the night, its notes curling around the remnants of forgotten songs. And now pluck gently answered it, tracing invisible lines between shadows, each tone like a thread reconnecting me to pieces of myself I had left behind. sound, letting the gentle rhythm guide my breath, finding in each subtle movement the fragments of memories I thought lost forever. Lanterns beneath the dust shine quietly, illuminating nighties long forgotten. They pulse with patience and warmth, reminding me that even in silence, the music waits for us to return. The night deepened, but it felt alive. Soft pads of wind carrying whispers of chants never fully remembered. Each note, each vibration drew me closer to what was hidden. The echoes of joy, of sorrow, of hope. And in that space I realized the lost melodies had never truly left. They were simply waiting for me to hear them again. The wind carried sparks of ancient light across the barren plains, as if hidden lanterns waited beneath layers of dust. Their glow flickered, not guiding, but whispering that forgotten melodies still breathe within us. I step carefully, sand crunching beneath my heels, a subtle rhythm syncing with the faint pulse of the earth. Hair smelled of warm soil and lingering incense, hints of oud and sitar drifting from unseen corners, threads of sound from long lost chants weaving through the night. A soft glow circled near me, tracing shapes of fears I had tucked away. They appeared small and now just shadows seeking rest, while the lanterns pulsed with patient warmth, teaching me to trust my own rhythm again. In that light I felt my chest lighten, as if the world whispered it. It's okay to find yourself again. The melody flowed through the lanterns, gentle but persistent, lost yet Each lantern hummed a memory, some fragments of joy, some marks of old wounds, all guiding me toward courage I had forgotten. The night wrapped around me like a protective cloak, warmth and soft resonance holding me as ancient chants merge with new rhythms, reminding me lost melodies are never gone. They only wait to be heard again. A dream I once believed, buried under restless hours and the lies I had received. Its edges glowed like embers shaped by storms I couldn't tame, a path through ancient corridors that whispered out my name. The streets were paved with memories, some were gentle, some were wild, echoes of a younger heart, the hunger of a child. 1,000 doors stood open, but they all led back to me, to the version of my shadow I was terrified to see. Yet still I walk the labyrinth where fading voices roam, hoping somewhere in the chaos I would find a place called home. Inside my mind, a monument to every truth I've tried to leave behind. If I wander through your alleys with the ashes of my fear, will you guide me to the melody that only I can hear? The path of lanterns that were flickering in time, to a heartbeat buried deep below like a long forgotten rhyme. Every stone was carved with stories I had sworn I'd never tell, yet in the quiet of that moment every secret rose and fell. A crowd of ghosts surrounded me, but they didn't bring despair. They hummed a simple lullaby that softened every tear, and in their song I recognized the truth I used to hide. Even ruins bloom with meaning when you choose to step inside. If the city falls to silence, I'll still hear its distant tune, for the lost are never broken when they learn to rise too soon. Lost city, shining through the dust inside my mind. A monument to every truth I've tried to leave behind. If I wander through your alleys with the ashes of my fear, will you guide me to the melody that only I can Forgotten valley is waters glimmering like molten glass beneath the moon. I followed its curves, footsteps silent on soft sand, drawn by melodies that shimmer just above the surface. A sitar rippled through the night, bright and fluid, while in no trace, gentle arcs, warm and golden, cannon notes scattered like sunlight on moving water. Floated above, very soft, guiding the flow. A childlike hum echo briefly in the distance, threading innocence and light into the deep shadows. The river's current carried fragments of lost songs, each note a lantern leading toward memory and hope. I leaned close and felt the melodies wrap around my ribs, pulling me into a rhythm older than time, a flow that had waited patiently for discovery. Reverie of the hidden river, every ripple holds a forgotten song. Even the faintest whisper can guide a wandering soul, bringing warmth, light, and quiet joy. Moonlight danced across the moving waters, and the melodies lifted, rising toward the sky. The river's voice mingled with my own breath, flowing endlessly, carrying all lost sounds forward. In that moment, the journey felt complete. Every song found its way to hidden rivers sang a final lullaby to the lost melodies now found. In the corner of the silent room, a broken lantern flickers slow, like it's guarding every memory I've been too afraid to show. There's a rhythm breathing underneath the dust upon the floor, a pulse that trembles gently like it's knocking at a door. I followed it through midnight, through the echoes in my chest, through every empty hallway where my courage failed its test. But the shadows rearranged themselves, spelling out a quiet name. And when I whispered it aloud, the night refused to stay the same. I heard a melody, an unraveled thread by fragile shining thread, pulling me into the dark. darkness where forgotten songs are led. Shadow notes are rising from the silence in my veins, pulling all the broken pieces back together once again. If I fall into the darkness, promise you will hear me go. For in every fading echo, I am learning not to fall. There's a place where sound is weightless, where the moon conducts the sky, and every star aligns in patterns you can't see when you don't try. I wandered through that astral choir, searching for a voice like mine, hoping somewhere in the distance there was meaning in the line. But the cosmos whispered gently, every scar becomes a tone. Compose your sorrow into power, let the song become your own. So I gathered every memory like a vineyard gathers rain. Turn my fear into the harmony that dances through my veins. If I lose my way tomorrow, let the rhythm guide me home. Though the night may blur the pathway, I will never walk tempo rose from the sands like a memory. Its walls scarred, yet humming with quiet life. I stepped inside the attic with incense and whispers, each breath carrying fragments of forgotten songs. A sitar arch through the shadowed halls, the old tracing sweeping golden curves across stone. Canoe notes dance like sparks on one steps, while a nasary voice drifted above. Soft, patient, guiding, a childlike hum flickered briefly, hidden among arches and columns, delicate as a breeze. In the temple of lost echoes, every shadow carries a melody. Even the faintest whisper guides the wandering soul, bringing warmth to the forgotten. Moonlight poured through broken windows, catching the notes and scattering them like dust. The music swelled alive yet gentle, rising toward the ceiling, tracing the sky. The echoes gathered, forming a chorus unseen, and I felt the tempo breathe with me. Each lost song finding its place again. dust between the night and memory, I heard a broken chant calling quietly to me. It drifted through the ruins of a song I used to know, a fragment of a rhythm buried deep beneath the snow. Every step I took toward it felt like waking from a dream, like touching faded colors in a world gone cold and steam. But still the distant echo kept repeating through the air, a melody abandoned yet too haunting to repair. It trembled in the shadows like a secret left behind, a voice that once was fearless but now barely tries to find. Lost chant calling from the silence where the vanished songs remain. Guide me through the darkness, teach my fractured heart again. If the music slips away before the dawn can make it right, I'll chase your fate and whisper through the ruins of the night. I followed where it lingered through the hollow ancient halls, through whispers carved in stone and through forgotten waterfall. Each echo showed a memory I thought I'd sealed away, a harmony I buried when I feared I couldn't stay. But the chant kept growing louder as it stitched me into time, rewriting every heartbeat with a long forbidden line. And when I reached its source, I found a mirror made of tone, reflecting all the melodies I thought I'd face alone. If tomorrow steals the music, I'll still search the empty skies, for every lost chant holds a truth that never truly dies. Lost calling from the silence where the vanished songs remain. Guide me through the darkness, teach my fractured heart again. If the music slips away before the dawn can make it right, I'll chase your fate and whisper through the ruins of the night. The horizon glowed with fading light, casting long shadows across the ancient valley. I walked among the ruins, feet stirring dust, listening as fragments of melodies drifted like whispers through the air. Sitar, a brazier shimmer invisible path through time and shadow. The melodies were not gone, they lingered, breathing, waiting for hearts to recognize their rhythm.
Flames were dancing in the distance, painting shadows on the dust. And every step I took toward them felt like walking into trust. The air was thick with memories I hadn't learned to face. Yet something in the burning pulled me closer to its place. I tasted smoke of stories that I never dared to speak. But in the fire's trembling heartbeat I discovered I'm not weak. It forged a rhythm in the embers, carved a path through all the fear. And though the heat was overwhelming, something called me near. Every spark became a promise, flickering within the night. Every ember was a lesson on the cost of choosing light. Under the fire, I'm rising through the ashes of my doubt, letting every hidden shadow slowly make its way out. If I falter in the burning, take my hand and lead me higher, for a melody is waiting in the center of the fire. Fractures I had buried in my chest, all the words I left unspoken, all the dreams I laid to rest. But as the fire traced their outlines, I could finally understand. Every flaw becomes a fortress when you dare to make a stand. I breathed the warmth of courage, felt it settle in my bones, and heard a chorus forming from forgotten fractured tones. The blaze became a guidebook, teaching me to redefine the parts of me I once despised, the parts that now align. If tomorrow brings the ashes, I will still embrace the glow. For the fire teaches mercy to the ones who learn to grow. Slowly make its way out. If I falter in the burning, take my hand and lead me higher, for a melody is waiting in the center of the fire. In the center of the fire.
The night settled like a soft curtain over the valley, its fabric woven from breeze, memories, and distant echoes. I stepped beneath it as though entering a forgotten room, where silence did not mean absence, but rather a quiet invitation to listen carefully. Every shadow moved with purpose, carrying the outline of a song that had once been full of life. A gentleness sighed along the edges of the dark, its tone like a thread pulling me forward. The sitar shimmered behind it, each pluck a small spark, breaking through the gloom. As I walked deeper, I felt something brushing against me, the faintest brush of a voice, a childlike hum, soft as a lullaby, folded inside a memory. It felt less like sound and more like a hand guiding me through a place I had forgotten how to enter. Of the past, lanterns swaying on balcony, silk rustling as people danced. The warm glow of courtyards echoing with laughter, all of it blurred like watercolor left in the rain. Yet the feeling remained whole, by the years. Behind the veil of the remembered songs breathe in quiet colors. They wait with patient light, calling the heart back to places it once knew. Even the faintest whisper can guide the lost home again. Beside the frame of a doorway where ivy curled like forgotten handwriting, the out began a tender melody, its notes bending like warm wind through curtains. Then the beat beneath my feet awakened, steady, certain, reminding me that music was not just something to hear, but something to walk with. As I followed the rising rhythm, the veil parted once more, and behind it I glimpsed faces, not clear, not complete, but formed from emotion more than shape. Each carried a tune upon their breath, a note that belonged to a larger melody, still waiting to be pieced together. Some memories do not return as images, they return as sound, as the vibration of something once cherished. When the veil finally loosened, I stepped through with quiet certainty. The remembered did not cling to me. It moved beside me like a companion, and in its presence I understood. Every lost melody finds its way back once the heart becomes willing to live. the veil. There's a whisper in the velvet dark where every heartbeat slows, a fragile thread of silver sound that only midnight knows. It drifts across the windowsill through curtains stained with time, soft as breath on trembling skin or in an open rhyme. I reach for it with restless hands, afraid it'd fade away, but the whisper curled around my fingers, begging me to stay. It carried tales of futures that were written in the cold, and lullabies for dreamers who grew terrified and old. The sound was barely breathing, like a truth that fears the light, yet still it shaped a promise in the quiet of the night. Whisper to me gently, let the darkness hear your name. Every echo that you're hiding sets my fragile soul aflame. If I lose myself in silence, pull me back with just one word, for the quiet breaks its boundaries every time your voice is heard. Followed where it guided through the cracks between my thoughts, to memories I'd locked away in battles I had fought. Each truth it brushed was trembling like a violin unplayed, a melody unfinished but too beautiful to fade. It led me to a mirror where my fears stood in a row, but when I whispered back, they softened in its glow. We stood there in the twilight of the dreams I never kept, and in the hush between our heartbeats, every broken promise wept. If dawn should steal the whisper, I'll remember what it said. Every song that waits in silence will one day rise from the dead. Whisper to me gently, let the darkness hear your name. Every echo that you're hiding sets my fragile soul aflame. If I lose myself in silence, pull me back with just one word, for the quiet breaks its boundaries every time your voice is heard.
The heat drifted across the dunes, soft waves bending the air like a quiet breath. Far ahead a glowing shape shimmered, uncertain, fragile, yet calling to me. gentle voice floated from the haze, warm and winding like smoke rising from amber. Another joined it deeper and steadier, moving with the weight of old stories. Soft glimmers of sound followed, bright as tiny sparks jumping from warm stone. A delicate playful chirp fluttered through the stillness, small enough to make the desert feel wide and alive. The ground under my feet began to hum, as if waking from a long sleep. The air thickened with warmth, pulling the mirage closer with each breath. Shadows swirled in soft curves, gathering around a hidden memory, waiting to rise from the heat. In the mirage that remembers, voices return from far off days. Shapes form from wandering light, songs carried by the silent I reached the glowing edge of the vision, where the air shimmered like silk in motion. A warm golden sound unfolded beside me, telling stories left behind in forgotten dust. The ground trembled, drenchy beneath the glow, as if urging the vision to reveal its heart. The light swelled with sudden grace, blooming like fire fed by a soft wind. And the mirage opened wide, offering me the music it had hidden for ages. In the mirage that remembers, voices return from far off days. Shapes formed from wandering light, songs carried by the silent seed. In the mirage that remembers, voices return from far off days. Shapes formed from wandering light, songs carried by the silent side. Night settled over the drifting dunes, but small fires glowed far ahead. Tiny sparks guiding a wandering caravan through the quiet breath of the desert. Ooh, I step closer, drawn by the pull of their warmth. The oud began first, low and resonant, its notes bending like embers rising in the wind. Sitar threads glimmered above them. Bright, quick traces of light skimming the dark. The rhythm of the bender curled around it all, steady and earthy like footsteps in soft sand. Somewhere between the flicker and flame, a faint childlike chirp lifted, a sound innocent enough to soften the night. The fires grew stronger as the bass The cannon fluttered into a bright cascade, lifting the moment with golden motion. Darbuka patterns tightened with excitement, urging the journey onward through the cool night. Bass and melody rose together with intent, each breath brighter than the one before, and the fires revealed their stories in every trembling note.
The sun leaned low over the saffron-colored road, its warmth curling through the dust as I walked. Every step stirred old whispers beneath the earth, memories bending like shifting. A bright cannon phrase leapt ahead of me, dancing in curves as if tracing forgotten paths. The darbuka answered with quick, lively patterns, soft but sure, pulling the moment forward. A faint, childlike coo, fragile and bright, floated between the notes like an echo of hope. The wind carried smells of spice and warm stone, and the melody rose with it, swelling and stretching. Long glowing lines from the sitar, guiding me deeper into the living heat. The bass began to pulse beneath the rhythm, steady, powerful, grounding my steps, yet lifting the music toward a higher shimmer. On the saffron roads of memory, the lost melodies rise again. Threads of gold weaving through the air, calling forgotten hopes back to I followed as the oats swirled into a gentle run, its voice rich and warm like sunset on copper. Hollow bells chimed from somewhere unseen, a soft reminder of what once was kept safe. The road unfolded before me like a long story, each measure adding another strand of light. Bass and strings move together as one breath, steady, glowing, alive. And the melodies kept leading me on.